Let's see what happens when we add numbers to each data point. We're going to look at the measures of central tendency after we change the data points. So in this case, we're going to add 12 to each of these. And so we get the numbers. Let me put a line underneath and rewrite them. That's a 25. That's a 19, 32, a 24, a 12 and 9 would be a 21, another 24, and a 27. So we're going to look at are the four things: the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So the mean is adding all of these up. So if I do plus for each one of them and add them up and then divide by 7, okay, parentheses to do us right, and divide by 7, I would get a mean of 24.6. For the median, I have to put them in order. So I'm going to do that now, not exactly underneath, but I'm going to move it over here. And I'm going to put them in order, which means it'll be 19, 21, 24, a second 24, 25, 27, 32. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 each. And here is the middle number. So that means 24 is the median. 24 is repeated, and it's the only one repeated. That makes it the mode. There can be more than one mode, by the way. If, say, the 32 there was also repeated, then we would have 2 of them that are the mode. And for the range, we will look at 32, take away 19, which is 13. Now, above this, we look at the mean, median, range, and mode. Those were 12.6, 12, 12, and 13. And let's compare them now. So 12 point, what was it, 12.6, 12, 12, and 13. So let's notice that in this case, there's simply an addition of 12. In this case, also an addition of 12. But in this case, it stays the same. So what actually happens is that this set of numbers that had been 7 through, what was it? The highest one before was 20. Okay, the highest one, 7 to 20, simply just got picked up and moved over. All of them moved over until they were from 19 to 32. So the range does make sense that it would stay the same. And when you add the 12 to each one, of course, the middle stays in the middle, but it moved 12 places. Everything moved 12. So it makes sense about that. It makes sense that 2 of them don't change, that they are equal to each other. What's interesting is that when you do the averages for them, it also is simply a plus 12. So when you add, you really don't change very much. You just add 12 to these 3 measures of central tendency, but the range stays the same. Now, it's a little bit different with multiplying, but let's see how much different. Let's take the same problem, and this time let's go ahead and take the numbers already put in order. So that means it'll be, I'll take the 19, 21, 24, 24, 25, 27, and 32. And now we are going to multiply them by 5. So when we do that, when I multiply everything here by 5, I get, oh, wait a minute, my mistake. Let me cross these out because I took these numbers that were already added 12 to, when actually I need to take the original numbers. So the original numbers, now let's come back and let me put them in. It's 7, 9, 12, 12, 13, 15, and 20. So I apologize for that. Please fix this if you're following along. Now we'll multiply 5 to each one of these, which means the new numbers will become 35, 45, 60, 60, 65, 75, and 100. So I'll cross out those. So we will do the same thing with the mean, okay, for the average. And I will add these up and divide by 7. And doing that gives me a mean of 62.9. The median is still the one that's exactly in the middle, which is 60. The mode is the one that repeats, which again happens to be 60. The range is going to be from the largest, taking the largest, subtracting the smallest. So here, 100 take away 35 gives us 65 now. So let's compare this to the original numbers, not to the adding one, but the original basic one. So it's 12, 6, 12, 12, and 13. So this was originally 12.6, 12, 12, and 13. So if we look here at the mean, the 62.9, if let's see, we multiplied by 5. So if I take, actually, if I'll take the original 12.6 and I multiplied that by 5, I get 63. So if I multiplied that by 5, I would get 63, which is very close to this, and it's very possible it's just rounding that makes the difference, which means that to some extent, all you really have to do, I mean, since that's so close, it's clear that it's just a rounding thing. 62.9 rounds to 63. So that means the mean can multiply by 5. You can take the old mean and multiply by 5 and get the new mean. The same thing's true with the median, multiplying by 5 and you get the new median. Multiplying by 5, you get the same mode. Here for the range, now that's the one that's interesting. Remember that that one did not change if we were adding numbers to it. But here, when we do 13, if we multiply 13 times 5, we also get 65. So in each one of these cases, just simply multiplying by 5 does indeed give us the new central measures of central tendency. So when you are adding them, all the measures of central tendency go up by the amount you add, except for the range, which stays the same. When you are multiplying each data point, you this time have all of them changed by the same multiplication factor, in this case 5. Thank you for listening. I hope that helps with understanding these.